Today, we're going to talk about performance anxiety, otherwise known as stage fright. Let's get into it.
All right, troops.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, these were only meant to be a couple of episodes, just to plug the gap until I got some guests, but there's a couple of issues with that. One, still don't have any guests. Two, people actually really like these videos. Don't know if it's because it's short form content or people just want to hear about my experiences dealing with these type of things in the industry, but I'm really grateful that people are actually tuning in, so thank you very much. And on that note, we're going to talk about performance anxiety. I mean, I'm old school though, so I'll call it stage fright. So what is stage fright? Stage fright is the anxiety, fear, or persistent phobia that may be aroused when a person has a requirement to perform on stage in front of an audience. Performing in front of an unknown audience can cause significantly more anxiety to performing in front of close family members. In some instances, stage fright might be the pattern of a larger social phobia, such as social anxiety, but many people experience stage fright without any wider problems. Some physical symptoms include sweating, stammering, tremors in hands and legs, facial tics, dry mouth, or dizziness. I'll be honest, from when I started performing in 1992 until I took my break in 2013, I didn't get stage fright. I got the nerves and I got all the anticipation about going on stage. But when I went on stage, it all went away. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, I knew all my lines, I knew other people's lines, and I didn't have any fear. I knew it was the one place that I could really shine where no one else could match my skill set. Yes, that's a bit egotistical, but it was the only thing that I had an ego about. I was top dog, and I knew I was top dog. However, in recent years, when trying to break back onto the stage, performance anxiety has really hit home. The place where it really gets me is stand-up comedy. Most people know that I'd been dabbling in stand-up comedy, mainly because people said that they thought I was funny and that I should give it a go. I know that I'm funny in a social setting. I know that I can be funny interacting with a guest or around friends and family. But having that as your job and trying to actually make people laugh at something that you've written down, I don't think I'm good at it. I've tried a few times with mixed responses, but that performance anxiety really drives home. It got so bad that I actually blacked out, not physically passing out, but I couldn't remember getting home. I remember being on the stage and saying one of the jokes, and the next thing I remembered, I was curled up on my wife's lap, crying my eyes out, saying that I was a failure. That's a terrifying experience, because I drove home that night and I cannot remember that drive home at all. That is terrifying. I had all of those same things that you get with stage fright. I had the sweating, dry mouth, tremors, didn't feel dizzy, didn't have any tics, but the stuttering went through the roof. Honestly, I have so much respect for people that actually have a stammer on a consistent basis, because just having it through that performance anxiety was a nightmare. I know it says that people find performing in front of an unknown audience rather than friends and family more terrifying, and that's kind of what their stage fright is. That wasn't the case for me in that time period that I mentioned between 1992 and 2013. I was more terrified when my family showed up. The way I looked at it was people that I didn't know and probably would never see again were coming to see me in a show, so it was like the handbrake was off. I could just run with it and I didn't need to care. But your family, unless you're successful, you cannot cut them out. They know what you're like as a person, so they can see whether you're acting or you're having a break. You really want to up your game for your family because you know their opinion means more to you than anybody else's. And that put the pressure on me. I still loved them being there and I still wanted them to come and see me, but there was some times where I deliberately didn't ask. Some of these were due to the fact that I didn't think that what I was doing was good enough for them. Still put in 110% no matter what, but there would be a particular role where I wouldn't want my family to see me like that. There was also roles that my family didn't want to see me in. And that was perfectly understandable. Some of them are really risky, as you've got to do in this industry. So for me, family coming was a lot more terrifying than just a bunch of unknown people because I would never see them again. The only thing it says under treatment for stage fright is taking propranolol. That's a mouthful. Took me 3 takes to get that. I'm not a big believer in taking a drug to try and calm that anxiety. My everyday mental health, oh yeah, I need as many pills as I can get. But I was never a big believer in taking drugs before you go on a stage. Things that I would usually do was breathing exercises, try and talk absolute rubbish to my fellow castmates because it was all I could really do. Or I would go to the extreme on the other side and I would put myself into a little kind of isolation bubble. Everybody else would be around me doing their thing, and I was just in my zone, blocked everything out, and carried on regardless. Stage fright and performance anxiety is incredibly common amongst many performers. Lots of ones like Barbara Streisand, Adele, Lady Gaga, Frankie Boyle, list goes on and on. Seeing all those stars that have suffered from performance anxiety or stage fright also shows you one thing. Doesn't matter if you're a newbie or a veteran of God knows how many decades experience. Everybody gets stage fright. So that's my take on stage fright or performance anxiety. Until next time, take care, stay safe, bye bye.